Welcome to video 5. We're progressing well through now, and on the last video that we looked at we used a vignette effect by creating a new layer. And what we're going to look at in this one is just tinting a picture to give a bit of creativity and make it stand out a little bit. Quite easy to do. So again, when we look at the layers, click on there. Just like in the last lesson, we create a new layer. So we use that button again, create a new layer, which puts a new layer above our background layer. And all we're going to do with this is use a paintbrush. So I'm going to get clicked on the paintbrush there, which we've used in previous lessons, and you can see our different brushes. So it's just a normal paintbrush. And we need to look at the opacity and the flow. We're going to leave those at 100%. And the reason for that, although we are going to lower the actual image that we actually paint, is we can do that overall by taking down the opacity of the layer. So sometimes it's a good idea to paint, if you're using this effect, to paint in 100% flow, get the full opacity on there, and then we can just change the opacity of the layer itself to lessen or give the effect more. So we've got our new layer, we've got the paintbrush tool. Now we're just going to look at our colours. So I'm going to click on the colour picker, and what I want to do is to create like an evening effect with this, sort of something similar to that. So I'm looking down the slider on here, down the middle there, and I want to be clicking towards the oranges. So I'm going to select orange by clicking on here, so the colour that I want, and it's trial and error this, you can play to your heart's content with this. Click on OK, and also need quite a large brush. So again, I've talked about the resolution of images and sizes, so the only way you'll tell if your brush is big enough is by changing the size here and actually putting your mouse over the image, because my pixel size may look completely different on another picture. Okay, so each picture is individual. So that's the best way, use your eyes, and you would need a largish brush. So we've got our orange colour there, and I'm just going to paint over the bird. And remember, we work on another layer, so we're not actually painting on the bird, we're painting on the layer above. I'm just going to paint down to about the horizon there, and then I'm going to change the colour. Let's go for slightly darker red colour. So I'm just clicking down on the slider, let's change that to like a red colour. I'm just going to put a little bit of top on there, the top part. Let's get another colour, so clicking again, changing the colour, going back to orange, probably go a little bit lighter with this one. I'm just going to paint down there. You haven't got to be an artist whatsoever to do this. Okay, and then we're going to mix the colours slightly. So to do that, we use the same filter that we used in the previous lesson. So we go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And this will just blend that a little bit. So I'm just going to get enough on there just to blend the colours in slightly. Click on OK. And then we go to our layer palette. And all we do is change the blending mode. So where it says normal, I'm going to try soft light. And that just tints the picture slightly. Now we can take the opacity down on that. So that's the original. And I can just add a tint of colour. Yeah. If it's not enough, we can change different layer modes as well. We can try overlay, which will give slightly different effect, more powerful effects. So you can see that's getting really arty using that. It's giving it much of a more of a creative type look. I might use that and something around that stage. So that's before, that's after. So you can see you can colour tint your your photos in any way, shape or form, just by simply experimenting with different colours and painting over areas, you know, and blurring the effect just to blend the colours in with each other. Then you can get some really creative looking styles using that. So there's lesson 5. And remember, when you're using layers, you've got all these different things. On all of the layers that you create, you've got your opacity. You can change things by using that. So once you've done things, you know, you can experiment. We've gone about blending modes, multiply, you know, have a look through the different ones. It may be you're looking for a different effect. Colour burn, you're getting really arty, you could do things like that. Remember as well, we've got other things that we can do. We can say, well, that's okay, but we've now got the use of using a mask and whatever. We'll look at those options later on, where you could mask part of that out and make it lighter or whatever. So it will progress, and you'll be able to do that at a later stage. We'll show you how to mask out areas. Okay, so that's the end of that tutorial. Play, experiment, practice.